bring him up.
Kirby, do you want us
Right
unarmed
there.
or with our rifles?
Maybe no rifles, or you could hold the
Okay.
rifles.
What's the officer's name again?
Mendes. Oh no. Damn it. What's his name? His name is Mikey Corleone.
Mikey Corleone, alright. Constable Corleone? Yes. Alright, Mr. Corleone. Right, the rest of you can follow me up.
Oh yes, good idea.
Mr. Corleone's coming upstairs.
Oh, we have to remind him to. Okay.
Mr. Corleone's approaching. There you go, Mr. Corleone.
I'll tell you
Get
when
on
to
in.
record, Gates. I'll just welcome you in. Mr. Corleone, please take Are you fine today?
Yep.
Alright, 1 minute. Alright, interview. Recording, start when you're ready. Alright, so this video, this interview will be recorded. Recording should be starting now. Alright. Interview start. The date today is the 2nd of September 2019. The time is 8:36 p.m. That's a professional standards report case number 125. This is a interview with our leading senior constable, Mikey Corleone. You'll be interviewed today as the officer under investigation in regards to report case 125. During this interview, we'll be asking you a series of questions for our ongoing interview into this case. And this is in the presence of myself, DC West, CS Kazuma, and DI Gates. So continuing. So we'll be asking a series of questions. The interview will be recorded for the Professional Standards Command record. So we'll be recording, however, you are not allowed to record. And I have just noticed, actually, I'll just finish this. So we request your full cooperation throughout our investigation. Failure to comply may result in a suspension from police duties. Do you accept and agree to these terms?
Yep.
All right, now I have just noticed you do have a firearm on your hip. Is there an actual weapon there, or is this just the holster?
Just the holster.
All right, 1 minute. Yeah, I just need to quickly set something up. I'm getting contact.
Attention all units. Officer needs immediate assistance. Units respond code 3.
Your channel was edited.
All right. All right, so Mr. Corleone, so as I said, we'll be asking a series of questions, and Gates will be writing them down here, and it will all be on the record. If you have any questions, just let us know, or any concerns.
Yep.
All right, now the first question, Mr. Corleone, is do you recall a robbery at Evangelico Jewelry Store on the 31st of August 2019 at approximately 12:25?
Yeah, I do, yep.
continuing. So can you tell us more about this incident? So the robbery, terms, suspects, vehicles, so during this investigation, to your best of your knowledge, please answer the questions.
Yeah, I believe there was, if it's the correct one I'm thinking of, I believe there was 3 bikes and 5 suspects inside. They had a hostage. I believe I was SRT at the time. We had multiple SRT on duty, and we agreed to their terms, gave them the range set up, and pursued the suspects. I personally pursued, I believe, initially one suspect on some form of Japanese sports bike, and then I believe we lost him, and then rediscovered the suspect on the black BF 400. All suspects were seen as armed inside, and we pursued them. I personally pursued them in a SRT territory, and we went up into the Vinewood Hills off road, went along a dirt track, and then he attempted to drive down back towards the road. In doing so, he went into the backyard of a house.
Okay, we'll just stop you there for a moment.
Yep.
We'll come back to that. As part of our questions, we've got specific answers, questions we're after.
Yep.
Now, the next one, what was your main position during the robbery? So you were SRT, so what were you doing?
Just general SRT, just outside, providing backup if need be, and just watching the situation.
All right, did you make contact with the suspect during the robbery?
Negative, that was the negotiator that did so.
Okay. Can you explain what happened after negotiations were finalized? Where did they go?
Personally, I just followed the one suspect that we lost, and he was heading towards Vinewood, and then the other suspect that I followed was just heading towards Vinewood Hills. I'm not sure of the other suspects.
Okay.
So yeah, northbound.
All right, now the suspects that you were chasing, what happened to them?
The one that I chased right to the end, he passed away at the end.
Okay, at the end, yes.
Yep.
Did you have eyes on him most of the time?
Yep.
Okay. All right, Mr. Colleone. So you had eyes on him most of the time. Moving on to the next question we have here, which is, do you recall Alpha 406 being the inspector SRT showing up in his unmarked Land Cruiser? Do you recall this?
Yeah, I didn't actually see him rock up, but then when we were leaving the scene of the suspect down, I did see him in the Land Cruiser. Yep.
All right. I just want to stretch your legs for a moment. We have mandatory policies. You have to stretch your legs at least once every 5 minutes. Work health and safety. All right. Moving on. So what happened after Alpha 406 was shot? So he arrived, he was in his Land Cruiser, and then he was fired upon by the suspects. Do you recall that?
I did hear shots fired. I didn't see him fired upon. I
Okay.
was on the opposite side of the wall at the time.
All right. Didn't see him get shot, but you heard the shots. You've then gone towards where the shooting was. Now, so Alpha 406, did you see him then start shooting at the suspect?
I didn't see Alpha 406 shoot at the suspect. I saw him and another officer, I believe, with their guns drawn.
Okay. Was the other officer, what were they geared at?
SRT as well, if I remember correctly.
But you don't know who it was?
No, I don't.
Okay. Now, do you know what weapon they were using?
I'm not too sure. It was definitely a two-handed weapon. I can't recall though. I wasn't focusing on that at the time.
Do you think you've seen it before?
Again, I wasn't focusing, so I didn't really look into it. I just saw two officers with their two-handed weapons drawn.
All right. Now, have you heard of the beanbag gun?
Yep.
Have you seen anyone use it before?
No, I've been told we're not really meant to use it as much as possible.
It is quite limited, yes. However, this was a jury-style robbery, so within policies and procedures, it is allowed. Now, are you aware of its capabilities and what it does?
Yep.
Can you explain to us what it does? What's the role of it? What does it do to the suspects?
Basically, this disables the suspect in a non-lethal manner from a distance further than the taser can reach.
Okay.
All right, Mr. West, you're head off now. Guys, take care.
All right, thanks,
See
Kazim.
you.
Yes, it's quite a unique weapon. Now, the other officer who was shooting at the suspect. Now, the thing is, he was beanbagged. As the officer yelled out, beanbag. He was using a beanbag weapon. Which was explained to you later.
Yeah,
it
it
not?
was. Yeah. I personally didn't hear anyone yell out beanbag, but yeah, that was explained to me.
Do you know? So you fired at the suspect when he was down on the ground.
Yep.
User
Now, he was
disconnected from your channel.
beanbagged. Now, when you've shot him, he was on the ground, lying down, and you've shot him, and you've killed the suspect. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. Now you've killed him when he was lying on the ground, beanbagged. Do you believe that this lethal force was necessary on your behalf?
Negative. It was an instinct coming around the corner, hearing shots fired, and seeing the suspect down, moving. Yeah, it was just a reaction. Very quick, split-second reaction.
Yes. So on that, the suspect was beanbagged. Beanbag was yelled out. You were hit by a vehicle. A local was driving past. You were hit. But from him being beanbagged to you shooting was 3 seconds. And within those 3 seconds later, you've then proceeded to fire. I think we've counted 10 lethal fire shots into the suspect, killing him while he was lying on the ground.
Yep.
So why have you done this? You said it's instincts, but I mean he was lying on the ground.
Yeah, it was just like I said, split-second instinct. I heard shots fired, and just before he jumped over that wall while I was still on the other side, he pulled a weapon out, and so it was just a very quick instinct. As soon as I realized what was happening, I let go of the trigger, which was on
All
automatic mode,
units
and
requesting backup.
yeah,
Respond code 2.
high
Alright.
fire rate weapon. Yeah, couldn't really contain how many bullets were firing at the time, but as soon as I realized what was happening, I let go.
Let's say.
I believe it was at least a headshot as well, so it was a very quick death. The remaining bullets would, yeah, just because of the fire rate.
He didn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
He was beanbagged. There were 4 beanbag shots. 3 beanbag shots fired into the suspect, disabling him, making him no longer a threat, and then you have proceeded to open fire while he was lying down. You agree and accept this?
Yep.
Okay, agree and accepted for the record. Alright.
All units requesting backup.
Just see what
code
else we
2.
have. Now, regarding the incident, do you have any potential information which could be useful towards our investigation? Were you recording? Do you have anything?
My recording, what do you call it, malfunctioned due to lack of space. So the whole body cam is disabled basically.
Okay. Right. Well. We do have a problem here. You say a man was taken down, neutralized, non-lethal, and then you've basically, you could almost say, executed him while he was down.
Yep.
So consent. Do you have any other comments? Is there anything you'd like to add for our investigation?
No.
Nothing else for the record?
Nope.
All right. Do you have anything you'd like to say about when you spoke with the inspector after the incident?
No.
Okay. All right, we're going to have a brief intermission in a moment. We'll just see if there's anything else we have. Do you recall what the inspector said to you?
Pretty much exactly what you said, just that it shouldn't have happened. Along those lines. He asked me why I did it.
And did you understand at the time?
Understand why I did it, or understand why he said
Why
it
it was
wasn't?
not right and why you were shift suspended?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to have a brief intermission where we're going to discuss what we'll be doing from here. So we'll get up here. SRT will be taking you out.
Yep.
SRT.
Alright, I'll just come through the doors here, unlock it.
You just want to take him down somewhere else, just down.
Yeah, yeah. Come through this.
All right, Gates. Gates. Just jump up. Touch those
Attention
legs.
all units. Officer needs immediate assistance. Units respond code 3.
All right, that's good. Good writing. Those message questions. Now, what do we think? So he's said it was instinct, although he was no longer a threat.
Attention all units. Officer needs immediate assistance. Units respond code 3.
He claims it was all within the moment. Do you have any comments from writing those answers?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Sorry, my voice box was turned off. What I found was he initially denied seeing the inspector when he walked around the car.
Yes.
And then when we changed the story a bit to, did you see the suspect on the floor? He said he's seen the officer with the suspect. So whether he's holding information back, something didn't add up there.
So he claims he didn't see the inspector at the end, but he saw another SRT, I think. That's what he
Attention all
said.
units. Officer
Oh,
needs
okay.
immediate
Well, I think
assistance.
the inspector was
Units
only
respond
SRT on
code
scene.
3.
Yeah, so unless he didn't realize that was him. But and I think, did he say we don't think it was a beanbag gun? I hope we asked that.
No, yes, we did ask. He said, no, he didn't realize it was a beanbag gun. He'd just seen a two-handed weapon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he didn't realize.
Yes.
All units.
But either way,
Units
he
requesting
agreed and
backup.
accepted.
Respond code 2.
The suspect was down, no longer a threat, and he's still taken them down due to instinct, he claimed.
All units.
Yeah.
Units requesting backup. Respond
Goodness,
code
these
2.
GDs are just spamming those buttons. Is this interview still being recorded?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so now we should move on to the next phase, which is disciplinary action.
No problem. What do you have in mind? It doesn't really fall into any of those three categories.
No. Just have a quick read here. similar to number 1. But... Oh, actually, similar to number, yeah, this one I think.
I believe as SRT, you should have the ability to withdraw his fire unless absolutely needed. I mean, in regards to that, I mean, if he's walked around that corner, he's had 3 seconds to realise the situation. And as an SRT, you know, you've got a duty of care, you've got one of the biggest weapons in the force. And to have like a natural reaction like that, I don't know whether that's a healthy state of mind.
No, maybe not. I think either way, removal from an SRT would be sufficient and justified. As he said, this is instinct, and we don't want this happening again anytime soon.
Yes, we definitely don't.
So we'd punish him for his actions and protect the community, whether it be a week or only 3 days.
I agree.
So one of those.
A week or 3 days.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like he's had bad intent, like he's done it on purpose. I think 3 days, does he have to resit his examination, or is it just 3 days?
3 days, no SRT.
Okay. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
it's
could
his
be.
first time. I mean, 3 days doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, this is. Double check here. He doesn't have anything written on the record. So potentially we could remove it for 3 days. Additionally, originally it was going to be potential suspension if he straight up murdered him.
Yes.
However, I don't think that's required with what we've got here. So potentially we could still have a police warning. Ideally, that could line up with the certification removal. So it could also be 3 days potentially, or a week.
If we do the certification removal for 3 days, he's probably going to reactivate his SRT just for a safe period. Maybe if we make it a week, there's a little bit of leeway straight after he gets his SRT back.
So you're saying police warning for 3 days or a week?
A week. And then the SRT removal for 3 days.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, someone has died, and that's due to his quote-unquote instinct. So, okay, 1 week police warning. And preferably, we could just do the 3 day no SRT, or it could, yeah, follow the warning. And you've said only 3 days, and then that gives him a few days come back to it. But this all evolves around him and SRT.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, well, we just need to decide this SRT. We can keep it to 3, or we can keep it to a week, and it's in line with the warning.
Okay.
I think I'd prefer that for this case. Then we'll bring him up. And then he should be all fine. Yeah, I think so. I'm proposing 1 week warning, 1 week removal of certification. That'll keep him off that for quite a while. Yeah. Any comments or thoughts to that?
So 1 week SRT removal, 1 week police warning.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that seems fair. I mean, a gentleman has died from it, so
Yes. All right. We'll bring him up. I'll issue it, and if you just want to write it down. Let's see. I guess the only other thing to write is conclusion, I think, we're looking at. Actually, just edit that. If you just want to write where it says findings, just write like the brief findings from the interview, the overall situation. And then I'll issue the punishment and then just write it down in the document. Alright, I'll have SRT bring them up. If there's any problems about them, we'll further look into it. Alright, SRT, bring him back.
Yeah, copy.
Copy. Get the door for you. Just come back in here, man. If you want, you can take a seat, stand up. It's up to you.
Alright, take a seat. It's Clean. Just to confirm, the recording should still be ongoing. Okay. Alright, Ms. Clean, do you have anything to say from your intermission?
Yeah, I'd like to say, obviously I'm not very proud of what I did. Should have been avoided, shouldn't have happened. I've never slipped up like this before. I'm usually very professional in my work, but yeah, just the instinct occurred and definitely shouldn't have happened. And if I remain keeping my my rank as SRT, definitely will not be happening again. But yep.
Okay, we're just getting these notes here. So you are remorseful. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, now I'm just going to read the protocol sections which we have found you in violation after this investigation and contacting the complainant and witness. Now, the specific protocol section we are looking at is section 6.2. I'll read it out here. So section 6.2 of the police protocol is authorization to use a lethal weapon is given to officers automatically if the suspect is visually armed and pointing their firearm at a civilian at close proximity, or if the suspect is discharging their weapon on a civilian. And the key part, officers are only permitted to shoot if the suspect is deemed a direct threat to life of officers or people in the area. In this instance, the suspect was not a direct threat to officers, as he was down on the ground and he was not getting up anytime soon.
Yep.
So you have violated that protocol. Do you agree and accept this?
Yep.
I agree and accept it. Okay. Now moving on, this is a high severity incident for our documents, as someone has died in this incident. And this would fall under officer negligence, it appears, because you're claiming you didn't on purposely kill the man. You're saying it was instinct. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, now obviously if this was an on purpose act, it would be considered murder. And you may be charged for murder. However, you're claiming it's instinct. So you're going to need to be doing some updates on training, looks like. Some other things might be required. We're just moving towards conclusion. Now, as you have violated protocol, you will be subject to punishment as a result of this. You were active as SRT at the time, and SRT has access to quite some big weaponry, and so they're expected to be able to use this appropriately. Proper trained and have their instincts online and able to deal with these stressful situations. So what we'll be doing is we will be removing your SRT certification for a 1 week period. Now, during this time, you will not have access to any SRT equipment. That'll be removed from you. If you manage to get access to any SRT equipment or go on duty as SRT, you will receive a much more severe punishment. On top of this, we're looking at further punishment. We just need to finalize a few things here. Do you, just another question, do you happen to know the man who you've shot?
No, I'm not too sure who it was. I
Okay.
believe Alpha 402 was it? Who was at the scene? He might have searched the suspect, or it might have been the other officer. But yeah, I didn't.
Okay. And you agree, as you've said, yes, you are in the wrong.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, the person has died, so we have to take this quite seriously. It could have been easily prevented if you had that more trigger discipline and you were able to avoid the shooting. Okay. So we'll be issuing you with the 1 week SRT removal, and as a sign of good faith, it could have been a much harsher punishment. Looking at
User
other
joined your
ones,
channel.
we'll be issuing you with a police warning.
Yep.
During the police warning, you will not be able to be promoted or be considered with any rank evaluation. Now, if you just want to,
User
I've
left
got a
your
file
channel.
for you. It explains all the details for punishments. So later on, you'll have to go to the PSC lobby, and then
Yep.
there you can find out further information. But as a result, since someone has died, we will be issuing you with a police warning, as I said. This warning will go for a 1 week duration. Because someone has died, this is quite serious. It could have been a police suspension. However, it's more instinct, and it doesn't appear to be straight up murder. Oh, and we've lost. Okay, yes, make sure to stretch your legs, actually.
Yep.
I'll just get that stretch your leg. Right. Now we'll be issuing with that shortly. Where are you currently located on the radio?
Lobby.
Move to the police lobby.
Yep.
All right. I've issued that there. Further details for punishments are located in the PSC lobby. There's a document called Police Punishments. All the details are there. Now, do you have any other further questions or statements whilst we are still on the record?
No.
Okay. Do you have any comments about the punishment?
No.
So the main reason the punishment's been issued has been to discipline yourself for your actions and to further protect the community, which is mostly what the SRT removal is. So by the time that is done, hopefully you're more, maybe you could relook at some training or something, but you're more equipped and this incident shouldn't happen again.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Mr. Collian, for your attendance today and your cooperation. We'll be finishing up here and we'll be escorting you out of the building.
Yep, no worries. Did you want me to leave the room or?
I'll be sorting that out now. Mr. Gates, interview terminated. Turn off the recording.